Mabu, hey! Today I'm going to be recapping the latest episode of Slaysian Royale, Dragcon Slaysia. I have a lot to say, so without further ado, let's get into it. The queens walk back into the workroom after Yuha's elimination, and they do the traditional alarma with Suki Doll. And I miss seeing them do that. So it's a new week in the workroom, and Suki Doll is the last international queen standing. Now, pre-season, would you guys have picked Suki Doll as the last international girl left? I don't think I would have in the beginning, but I'm so proud of her and it makes sense now. Suki remarks on how she's the only one left without a Rue badge and the edit was there. At that moment, Mama Pow enters the workroom and announces that the queens have to get into quick drag for this week's mini challenge. They will need to pose the house down, photobombing scenic tourist locations in the Philippines. Whoever gives the most meme-worthy photo wins. Photographer 7 announces that this week's winner is Kiana, and that's 4 mini challenge wins. So for this week's Maxi Challenge, the queens will be attending Dragcon Slaysia. On set. They will need to present and showcase their brand at their own DIY Dragcon booths. Suki says this Maxi Challenge was made for her. Hello, edit. As the winner of the mini challenge, Kiana gets to take a minute from another queen's presentation and add it to hers. She ends up giving the disadvantage to Suki Doll, which is ironic given who ends up going home this week and who ends up winning. But we'll get there. So it's time for Sasha Colby and Precious Paula Nicole to check out the booths at Dragcon Slaysia. Brigadine had one of my personal favorites because I love blue. She also matched her outfit with her booth, but also she was warm and personable and full of confidence. She had merch, sour sweets, a spinning wheel. It was a really good job from Brigadine. The other standout was Suki Doll. The booth was immaculately decorated. She gave Sasha and Precious a personalized design, which was a great touch. She also made La Susus for both of them. What more could you need? Venus says right off the bat that she thinks her booth is the worst, so she has to overact to compensate. Unfortunately, her nerves were very evident. She kept telling Sasha and Precious where to move and where to sit. It was very frenetic energy. I feel like if I came to her booth, I would be so overstimulated, but also gagged because I'm meeting Venus Deluxe. There just wasn't any banter or natural flow. A popcorn game and a one-way airline ticket? Girl. At Arizona's booth, the party is popping. She presents some of her vape tricks. She also offers Sasha and Precious advice at her speakeasy. And I think asking for advice is a really great way to show off your improv skills, which Arizona is clearly good at. She did a great job and she was having fun. I love that her hangover kit consisted of brandy and vodka. Makes sense. Last but not least, we have Kiana's booth. She really confused me in this one. She asks Sasha and Precious to have a dance battle, which lasts all of 1 second before moving on to a chiropractic and acupuncture session. It was chaotic, as she said. It just didn't feel like a DragCon booth experience. Also, asking them what they want to do is the opposite of improv. You're supposed to say yes and not, what should we do now? On Elimination Day, the girls finally discussed Jiggly Caliente. Not just how kind she was, but how much the PH girls loved being judged by her. Arizona cries, saying she wished she could see Jiggly again, to show her how far she's come. And this entire moment made me sob. Arizona says she's dedicating her runway to Jiggly. We miss you, Jiggly. Rest in peace, darling. So on the main stage this evening, we have the gorgeous Mama Pow, and you know that I love her in a red wig. We also have Sasha Colby and Precious Paula Nicole. And can I just say, I love the chemistry between Sasha and Precious. They really match each other's energy. Category is Rebirth, and I gave my top 2 to Kiana. Talk about saving the best till last, and by last, I mean her last runway. For now. The first look on season 3 was already iconic. I didn't even think it could be elevated, and yet, here we are. So it's time for the judges' critiques, and no one is safe. Crediting drag looks here on Instagram. First up, we have Suki Doll. Precious says she was so welcoming and generous, and Sasha says it was impeccable branding. Her runway look was also a huge improvement from her original. Next is Brigadine, and Sasha says she really leveled up her look from season 1. The pair also loved her booth. She was very generous and engaging. Now we have Venus Deluxe, and Sasha was really impressed with this look. In fact, she loved the wig so much that Venus tossed it to her at the end of the episode. Booth, however, was a bit of a flop. Sasha said it felt aggressive and controlling and she did not want to return there. Precious said she felt like Venus was in a hurry. Next is Arizona Brandy, and I love her Rebirth runway. Sasha says the branding in her booth was amazing, and Precious said she actually enjoyed Arizona's booth the most because she listened to them. Getting drunk helped. It meant a lot to Arizona to be considered a look queen for once. Last but not least is Kiana. Precious says her nerves were super noticeable. She didn't use all her time wisely. And of course, out of all the runways, this one's the best. However, Precious said that she didn't really prefer it to the original. I understand that it didn't need improving, but this is one of my favorite Drag Race looks of all time, so to see it again and elevated, I was thrilled. In Untucked, we get the re-emergence of Mama Renz. First time this season! Mama Renz, where you been, Loca? Back on the main stage, Arizona Brandy wins. Do I agree? No. But that's okay, because Suki Doll also wins, getting her first Rue badge. And I do agree with that. If it were up to me and there was a top two, I would have given it to Brigading over Arizona, but I understand that in terms of storyline, it makes sense that Arizona won as well. Brigading is made safe, which means it's up to Venus and Kiana to lip sync it out. They performed to Race Car by Callista. To me, this was a Venus song. It was perfect for her. She also seemed to know the words more. It was really hard for Kiana to move around in her elaborate costume. I really wanted Venus to take her robe off, and she didn't. Either way, Venus gets to stay, and we say goodbye to Kiana. I do believe it was Kiana's time. She's had a very interesting storyline this season compared to season 3, which I'll talk more about when I do All Stars vs. Original Season. We love you, Kiana. You will always be an icon. I also appreciated her Pearl exit line, if you know, you know. And so, my friends, what did you think of this week's episode? Did you agree with the judging choices? And who are you rooting for to take the crown? Are you Team Brigading, Team Suki Doll, Team Venus Deluxe, or Team Arizona Brandy? What can I say? I'm Team Venus. She's my favorite out of who's left. However, I do think that Brigading will end up winning, and I'm fine with that. Finale episode looks epic, by the way. The Queens will be performing with Reina, and Marina and Nymphia will be guest judging. Finally, my friends, I just want to make a comment about my latest Drag Race España recap. I recapped the premiere, and it was one of my most low engaged posts in a long time. Hardly anybody commented, hardly anyone viewed. If you want me to continue recapping Drag Race España, it has to be worth it for me. And by worth it, I just mean that I'm actually talking to people about the episode. Otherwise, it just feels like I'm talking to myself. So if you want me to continue recapping Drag Race España Season 5, please let me know in the comments, and please be engaged. Go watch my recap video for the premiere, go comment on it, and I'll know that you guys want me to keep up with it. But as always, give me all the tea about Slaysian Royale, and I'll see you very soon for another video.